I exist. That's the first thing I have to say. I exist and I'm not alone. We exist, millions of us, across the country, across the world, across generations. But according to the government of the United States in 2025, we don't. By executive order, by federal decree, we have been declared non-existent. Not unworthy. Not undeserving. Simply non-existent. They didn't need prisons. They didn't need police raids. They didn't need to round us up. All they had to do was rewrite a definition. They took the word sex, took the word gender, and forced them into a single, rigid mold, two categories, man and woman, fixed by anatomy, determined at conception. Everything else, they said, is false. Illusion. Error. Ideology. And just like that, a government signed away the reality of millions. This is not a debate. This is not a disagreement. This is not a policy shift. This is the systematic erasure of a population. It is the administrative equivalent of burning books, except the books are our birth certificates, our medical records, our school files, our identities. It is a digital genocide carried out by legislation. Doctors are forbidden from treating us. Therapists are muzzled. Schools are told to call us by the wrong name, force us into the wrong bathrooms, deny our pronouns, undo our dignity. The flu doesn't go away because someone says it doesn't exist. Neither do we. But when care is forbidden, when recognition is outlawed, when visibility is treated as deviance, we are forced underground, forced into silence, forced into a kind of social death. What they've done is not ignorance, it's calculated erasure. And the tools they use are deceptively simple: the definition of words, the removal of options, the silence of institutions. They changed a few sentences in federal documents, and those edits rippled across every system that touches our lives. Suddenly, our passports can't reflect who we are. Our doctors can't treat what we feel. Our teachers can't protect us. Our parents can't even speak of us in some schools without fear of investigation. It's not that we lost everything. It's that they took everything and then pretended we never had it. They didn't need to outlaw us. They simply made us vanish on paper. And what vanishes on paper vanishes in policy, vanishes in systems, vanishes in care. That is what makes this so dangerous. People talk about political opinions, about religious freedom, about the right to dissent. But this isn't a matter of freedom. It's a matter of erasure. The law now says we don't exist. And if we don't exist, we can't be harmed. If we don't exist, we can't be protected. If we don't exist, then every crime against us is imaginary. Every struggle we face is considered delusion. And every right we once had is revoked without trial because legally we were never real. Let me be clear. This is not about children being confused. It is not about parents being concerned. It is not about religious people having different views. This is about power. This is about control. This is about maintaining a hierarchy in which certain bodies, certain identities, certain lives are considered real and everything else is an aberration to be deleted. And yet we are here. We speak. We live. We resist. Our existence is not a request. It is not a permission. It is a fact. We are here even when the state says we are not. We are breathing even when the law tries to suffocate us. And we will not be erased by the stroke of a pen or the signature of a man who does not know us and will never understand us. What they've done goes beyond cruelty. It is strategy. They didn't come after us with guns. They came after us with erasers. They're not arresting us in the streets. They're deleting us in databases. That's how this war is being fought. Not with visible violence, but with invisible annihilation. The kind that makes people question if we were ever here in the first place. When they say there are only two genders, they are not offering a different view of the world. They are issuing a command: conform or disappear. That's what the binary is, an ultimatum. Be one of two or be no one at all. It's not just about bathrooms or sports teams or clothing. It's about who gets to be counted, who gets to be seen, who gets to exist in the eyes of the state. And make no mistake, the state sees us. They've studied us, tracked us, documented us. They know exactly how many of us there are. They know the names of our clinics, the addresses of our support groups, the statistics about our lives. And that's what terrifies them. Not that we're confused. Not that we're broken. But that we are growing, thriving, surviving, educated, articulate, defiant. That we are not asking for permission anymore. So they decided to break the mirror. They thought that if the reflection was too uncomfortable, they could just shatter the glass and declare that only their image is allowed to remain. But we are not glass. We are bone. We are blood. We are memory. We are culture. We are living resistance. And we do not disappear when the page is edited or the funding is cut. I've seen what happens when the state denies a people's existence. I've studied history. This has happened before. Erasure is the first step. Dehumanization is the second. Criminalization is the third. And after that, worse. Always worse. It starts with denying care. Then comes punishment for being visible. Then comes the silence, the fear, the exile, sometimes literal, sometimes social. And the people in charge pretend it's for safety, for order, for the children. But they are not protecting children. They are teaching them how to disappear the people they fear. Children are watching all of this. And what they are learning is terrifying. They are learning that some people can be legislated out of existence. That it is okay to lie if the lie makes you feel powerful. That science only matters when it agrees with ideology. That empathy is optional. That identity is not a right but a reward granted only to the obedient. This is a generation-defining betrayal. And not just for trans and non-binary people, for everyone. Because once the government can define away an entire group, nothing stops it from doing the same to others. Today it's us. Tomorrow it could be anyone who steps outside the boundaries of what they decree as truth. That's why this matters. Not just for our community, but for the very concept of reality. We are being told that facts don't matter. That lived experience doesn't matter. That medical consensus doesn't matter. That language itself can be weaponized into a tool of erasure. But I refuse. I refuse to let them write me out of the story. I refuse to be a ghost in my own country. I refuse to let a government tell me I am not real when I am standing here, breathing, speaking, loving, grieving, living. I will not accept a legal fiction over my flesh and blood. They have already decided that their version of reality is the only one permitted. They have institutionalized it. They have taught computers to reject us, forms to exclude us, agencies to ignore us. They have made it so that the systems we rely on to live a healthcare, identification, education, protection are no longer built for us. And they are hoping that the rest of the population either doesn't notice or doesn't care. They are counting on fatigue, on confusion, on people's fear of confrontation. They want allies to hesitate, to second-guess themselves, to wait for the next election instead of acting now. But that waiting is a trap, because by the time the next opportunity comes, more will be lost, more care denied, more children harmed, more rights removed quietly, bureaucratically, in the dull language of policy documents that few read but all must obey. They didn't win this war with violence. They won it with compliance, with quiet signatures, with the machinery of administration. They know that the most effective kind of cruelty is the kind that doesn't look like cruelty at all, just a rule change, just a budget cut, just a new definition. I've walked into a clinic where the signs had been taken down. I've seen the confused faces of staff who were told they had to stop doing what they'd trained for, what had saved lives. I've heard the despair in young people who were told their appointments were canceled indefinitely. Not because of science, not because of evidence, but because someone in a suit had declared their identity null and void. This is not about medicine. It's not about biology. It's about obedience. They are demanding that reality itself bend to their design. That we deny what we know in our bones because it makes them uncomfortable. That we lie to ourselves to preserve their illusion of order. I won't lie for them. I won't pretend that a boy forced to go through the wrong puberty will be unharmed. I won't act like a girl denied access to care will be fine. I won't play along with a system that tells parents they're abusive for listening to their child. I won't dignify a government that considers my life a political inconvenience. There is no neutrality here. You are either with us or with those who want us gone. You are either protecting reality or protecting the machinery that is trying to overwrite it. This is not a moment for silence. Not for soft compromises. Not for vague empathy. This is a moment to name what is happening, the deliberate unmaking of people enforced by law, normalized by language, and justified by a culture that pretends compassion is conditional. And still, we resist. Because resistance for us is not a choice. It is survival. Every day we live as ourselves is resistance. Every time we speak the truth is resistance. Every time we protect one another, share resources, build underground support, make art, tell our stories, keep each other alive, we defy the lie that says we do not exist. They want our disappearance to be quiet. No outrage, no headlines, no memorials. Just absence. Empty records. Erased names. They want to make the world forget that we were ever here. And for many, that's the terrifying part. This isn't a storm that strikes and passes. It's a silence that spreads. A silence enforced by rules, rewarded by conformity, normalized through exhaustion. But silence is not peace. Silence is not safety. Silence is complicity with the machinery that deletes us. So I won't be silent. I won't act like this is just another political cycle. I won't pretend we are in a debate when we are in a struggle for survival, because this is not a difference of opinion. It's a deliberate attempt to write us out of existence and congratulate themselves for the cleanliness of it. We are not a phase. We are not noise. We are not failed versions of something else. We are human beings with history, culture, complexity, and truth. We are not recent. We are not modern. We are not invented. We have always existed. And what is being done now is not innovation, it is regression at the hands of those who fear that what they cannot control will grow stronger than they imagined. They were right to be afraid, because we have grown. Not in secret, but in public. In courtrooms and clinics. In schools and stories. In every child who dares to say, "This is who I am," before the world has told them they cannot. And now those in power are trying to bury us before we can fully bloom. But I will not hand them the shovel. This is a call to action. Not a polite request. Not a hopeful suggestion. A demand. If you are a doctor, keep treating us. Find the loopholes. Speak the truth. Do what your oath requires. If you are a teacher, protect your students. Even when it costs you. Even when it's hard. If you are a parent, defend your child's right to exist without apology. If you are a lawyer, fight every inch of these orders. If you are a journalist, stop asking if we exist and start asking why anyone has the power to say we don't. If you are someone with a platform, use it. If you have money, donate it to those on the front lines. If you have time, spend it with us. Listen to us. Amplify us. And if you have none of these, then speak. Speak even if your voice trembles. Speak even if you are the only one in the room. Because silence is what they're counting on. This is not theoretical. This is now. People are being cut off from care, from protection, from recognition. They are being made invisible in real time. And the longer we pretend it's normal, the more permanent it becomes. We don't need sympathy. We need action. We don't need kindness. We need solidarity. We don't need to be included in someone else's version of reality. We need to defend our own. I don't know how many more times I will have to say this before the world hears it, but I will say it anyway. We exist. We matter. We are not going anywhere. And we will not be erased.